Good afternoon. It is time for Colleague from Work, his retirement party. See you inside.
Telling everyone I'm going to lunch today with the last man standing. And I was actually getting a little emotional driving here because it's really, to me, the end of an era for our original TRD department, other than Steve leaving, right? I mean, you are kind of the last of our group, right? And you know, the original Russ Soma group over in Summit that I joined and Bob was part of way back when. So, but I've had the privilege to work with you for the almost 30 years that I was at Novartis. Lots of fun times back in Summit and building W and building U, I guess. I heard all the stories about all the trips to Puerto Rico and the Voltaren, but you know, for me, coming out of graduate school, I learned so much from you and Mark and Jim and Bob and everybody that was there. And for me, what really stands out about you, Steve, is you always make everything look very easy, right? I think you were always like very calm.
Please tell us.
You have nothing to worry about. You're fine.
But you really do park it at home, huh?
No, but I mean, he was always willing to take on new projects, new challenges, all different kinds of dosage forms, all different kinds of formulations, right? Like modified release, melt granulation, tablets, capsules. You know, you did so many different formulations, and you know, I think I don't know, I wrote it in the little card to you, but I think other than Bob, you probably have worked on more products that have actually gone to the market than anybody that I'm aware of, right? I mean, back from work, I don't know, I can't remember all of them, but I remember back in the days when you were working with, you have them in the back?
Something?
You have
Does
them
he have
in the
a
back?
notepad for all
All your
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I thought those words are vitamin pills.
Oh my god.
But I remember Lotrel, back in the day
That's
that
the
you
blue
were working
ones.
on with
Blue capsules.
and Comfort, and you had the Lescol
They're in there.
XL. I mean, I definitely, you know, FTY is
Sit down.
definitely a big part of my career, and you took over and actually got the dose that's on the market now. You were the one who scaled that up and got it on the market and did the filing. So, and all the things that you have a lot.
Go ahead.
You have your own list.
He's
I
taking
was
this
gonna tell
home.
you all
And
the products that
been
he's
home.
worked on, but those are all your products. But yeah, I mean, it's really been great working with you. You've always been a great part of the team. You've always, like I said, you've been willing to take on new challenges, all kinds of projects. I know I could always talk to you not only as a colleague but as a friend. We have a lot in common. We graduated the same year, just even, you know, family challenges at work, challenges with Basel.
Same dentist.
Same dentist,
Growing
yes,
up.
we went to the same dentist growing up.
Dr.
yes.
Ranius?
Dr. Ranius. We found that out. Yeah, we grew up in towns right next to each other, even though we didn't know each other. So, but I hope that, I hope that we're going to be able to keep in touch. That goes with you, but also with everybody here, right? Because this is our last farewell lunch for a while, I hope. Daniela and Mary Beth will be here for a while, and Michelle. But yeah, I really, it's really been great working with you. I hope that you're going to take some time and enjoy some time off, spend time with your family, hopefully travel with your lovely wife and maybe the kids if they, I know the kids have crazy schedules, but hopefully you can take some time off. But you're gonna be, I mean, I really didn't want to stop working, but actually, I don't know how I could fit work into my life now. I'm so busy. Now that I'm not working, so I think you're gonna find plenty of things to fill your time. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's that?
50 20% discount.
I only get 5, jeez. I was stay for 50 years to get a 10. That one's known for
There you
top
go.
10 lists.
Hey,
Now I have to put the glasses
but you always did.
on. Okay, top 5 reasons why it's way past time for Steve to leave Novartis. This really should have happened a long time ago. Number 5, volleyball has been gone forever.
Yeah. Those are good times, though.
Yeah.
Also field day and bowling, all those different activities that we used to take part in that you really seem to get into. I know you're very competitive at field day. Number 4.
You're gonna play, you gotta win.
Number 4. For quite a while, there hasn't been any Met fans here for you to antagonize. And then again, there hasn't been too much. Oh, well, it's in Buffalo. What do you want? They don't have a team.
That's true.
And then again, there's not too much to brag about for the Yankees lately either. So. Number 3, there's no more of those famous Stein trips. I mean, you definitely were the king of Stein. That's how I remember you, going to Stein, learning all those secret techniques for surviving, like how to get into the bank. You have to wait for the person to leave. And they think you're gonna mug them, and all, walking across the bridge that you're not supposed to walk across if you're a foreigner, and riding on your visa, work visa, that you're staying in Rheinfelden where you're actually staying in Germany, in Valazza, and so all those things. So there's none of that, so I don't know what are you sticking around for, really.
I mean, I learned from him cutting up the back staircase into the coding area, so you didn't have to go walk the long hallway this way, only to walk the long hallway that way. So you just go from the basement up the back stairs and forget about the clean side, dirty side.
Oh my God.
No such thing. You go right up the back staircase, right into the coding.
Bad.
Right?
That's why he stays with
Bad.
it.
The thing I learned in Stein for me was that when you're starting a tablet coding run, don't bother you.
Why?
Too focused.
Too intense.
It's a tense time. Okay. Number 2, there's no more ex-SEBA people to hang with anymore. I mean, finally they're gone.
You still got Michelle. Did you forget
She's
her?
ex-SEBA?
Yeah.
That's where I met her in
If I had known that,
1995, I think.
we
right?
wouldn't be talking.
She's QA.
Yeah, that's a whole
Not
different.
back then. I wasn't.
But so
I
was I.
thought you from the
I used to take the back steps.
Nor any ex-Sandos people to hang out with too.
I
And
don't
again,
know.
to razz and antagonize.
I don't know.
them.
So I try not to associate with them anyway, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, number 1 reason why it's way time to leave. There's nobody else left. Don't count.
You don't count, Michelle.
You know what I mean?
Didn't expect you.
You're from suffering. Come on.
Which doesn't exist either.
No.
Steve, I always really admired you as a colleague, the work you did. I agree with Colleen on many points. I think you've taken on so many different challenges, and you always seem to approach it like you did Stein. You figure out what's got to be done, you find ways to do it, and then you execute the plan and you do it tirelessly. So I was always impressed with that, and I really wish you the best. And like I wrote in the card also to you, I think you're the perfect person to kind of close the show at TRG East Panel. You really
Anxious to see this card.
just like at Woodstock, that last Jimi Hendrix song, well, you're the Steve
Love
Valazza
Jimi
of the
Hendrix.
bar.
I can say a couple. I want to say a couple words too. I think when you said comes full circle, it feels like that to me because it was in suffering. I was a young production supervisor in 1995. One of my first experiences working with TRD was actually, Russ, I think it was your group. Steve coming along, trying to do the enteric coding for Voltaren. I don't know if that's in there.
Sure is. With the triangles.
Trying to get rid of that solvent coding, and I remember back then, Steve, you just left a memorable impression because of your science and your understanding of development that doesn't really exist a lot of times in the commercial manufacturing sites. We're used to just following the recipes and just repeating the analytical tests, the manufacturing, but to have somebody with a science background really explaining the development of the product was really incredible. And it also was something that I was kind of drew me a little bit towards maybe eventually trying to get into TRD in development, because I felt so far away from the science. So, but I also remember, Steve, you were very enthusiastic, excited about what you're doing, had a good personality. I never forgot about him. So then coming in my career to back to TRD, I remember Bob a lot, and Steve I instantly recognized. And I was like, well, I kind of feel back at home a little bit. I'm not too far away from, it's a new experience in TRD, but I didn't feel too far away. Then I didn't really interact a lot with you, I would say, most of the time. I was in quality, supporting all sorts of things, until recently, Steve, with Global Health. It just seemed like he's been on projects that just had some, unexpected quality issues with impurities. He's been on a couple of them. So it was a great opportunity to, again, work closely with Steve. And again, also, I have to say, you have this calmness about you. And maybe not at home, but he does make it seem like it's not so hard. And he also does understand the science and balance of everything, and he doesn't make you panic. So I will miss you a lot, Steve. It does feel weird saying goodbye, and I really, truly hope that we have that Buffalo connection, and we get to see each other at future Buffalo Bills games, and hopefully he'll be a Buffalo Bills fan, right? Yeah.
Giants,
that's most important. Yeah, well, Giants might be better, the Powerball, but anyway.
Yes.
Best wishes.
Thanks,
To be honest and say it's a little bit of mixed emotion for me to be standing here. I expected this to happen in about 5, 6, 7 years from now, because if there was one person that I knew from the original group who would outlast me, I counted on Steve. We had Mark, Santo, and but I thought if there's one person who would do that, it was Steve. But as we know, the company obviously had different plans. But I want to go back to the beginning a little bit, which is, I think when I first interacted with Steve, and we had a big project, which was to transfer the Voltaren project from Stein, not to the US, but actually to Puerto Rico, to a new plant. And we in our group were very strong as a bottom-driven, hard, high-shear mixer company, Matrix. Later on, we learned from Sandoz that you guys were a high-shear, top-driven, organization. But the big project and the task at hand was granulation fluid bed. We all knew about it textbook-wise, but we never had any experience hands-on at scale. And I knew indirectly that Steve had this expertise. And actually it was at a wedding of Jim Kowalski where I think we spent most of the reception talking on how we're going to tackle this problem. And I said, I know the guy that we need. I reached out to Steve, who was working at Thrift Drug at that time. And, I tried to convince him that, filling prescriptions at Thrift Drug year 1, year 5, year 10, year 15 is going to be the same damn thing. Come to the industry, and then you're going to have a career. I also tried telling him that you won't have holidays, weekends, and nights that you had to work at Thrift Drug. But of course, that turned out to be a little bit of a white lie. But nevertheless, Steve joined July 1st. We had a little bit of a bumpy road in the beginning, right? All of a sudden we realized there was no vacation days, but we fixed that a little bit under the table. But one of the first big projects, as I mentioned, Steve worked on was the Voltaren transfer project to Puerto Rico. And I think that turned out to be quite successful, right, at scale. A granulator at 300 kilos, first in the industry that was done in a vacuum. It turned out to be quite good. I have a little bit of a handout here. One thing I know about Steve, he's always been trustworthy, reliable, and there's few times that there was ever a flaw with Steve. But I did catch him once in Puerto Rico when he was maybe not at his 100% best. Although I have to also couch that by saying the day before we were at the plant for 20 hours, and I think having a nap the following afternoon, was well deserved. The next big project that I think I can talk about that Steve worked on was actually with Alan and the high dose strengths of Lesqual XL. I think you worked closely with Alan and Oscar, and I think it also created the first opportunity to be introduced to Stein. I think that was your very first visit. I think the two of us went there. I was supposed to show you the ropes a little bit, the back staircase, but it turns out I disappeared on you quite quickly because I had to go to London to an EMA, diarrhea and pediatric meeting, and it was a snowstorm, and I was supposed to relieve you that afternoon. My flight got canceled, delayed. I think I got back to the hotel around midnight, and I called your room, and I never saw Steve really be so mad. And I wanted to prank him by saying, I'm not coming until tomorrow, and I think you already had a very long day, and you didn't want to hear my voice. I think you were deep asleep.
I don't remember that.
So yeah, I do, because that was one of the few times I think you were pretty upset with my prank there, which didn't turn out to be a prank. But I think one of the more memorable, successes was when you were working with Mike and Entresto, right? I mean, the impact that it had on the company, the sales, the volume, the profit, solving the problems with the roller compactor. At that point, I don't think we were working directly, but rather indirectly, since I was in the franchise at that time. Your impact was tremendous and, quite memorable for me, and without it, I don't know how we would have, succeeded. As I mentioned, I think, from my mind, you're the most organized, reliable, trustworthy person, that I know. I think, as I mentioned, when I first interacted, I was correct in saying there is a career, and it was great watching you go from scientist to project leader to technical project leader and manager through the 35 years, or almost 35 years. Of course, the white lie is you did wind up working on weekends, missing birthdays or graduations and whatnot, and that, of course, was quite painful. And, was something, that was a little unforeseen. But nevertheless, like I said, Steve, it was great working with you, and I wish you all the best. But I'm not going to end there. I think I heard someone say last man standing. You are the last man standing. This is the org chart 2 weeks prior to you joining. Your name was penciled in, right? Because it was actually on June 15th. You joined on July 1st. This now belongs to you. You can do what you like.
I don't have this one, the hand version.
Actually, Voltaren was his very first big project, but I think actually one of your first assigned projects was actually Cataflam OTC, and I think you made some clinical supplies, so
Yeah.
you finally deserve some Cataflam Post-its.
We don't have those.
If Bob
How sticky is the adhesive on this? Still shrink wrap.
And as a Yankee fan, you might have one of these, but now you might have two. Every good Yankee fan needs a autograph, Mickey Mantle miniature baseball bat pen. So it's not recycled; it's still in the original.
You have the baseball?
No.
Tiny
I gotta talk to Dennis for one of
You can
those.
bat with these.
When he was selling the signing the autographs upstairs in the U building.
You can start opening this now. This is, other than maybe myself, I think you did spend, as Alan said, probably the most time in Stein as any one of us, probably in the TRD US organization. So that might bring back a little bit of a memory there.
Memories
Is
of
that the
what?
color?
Wait, what does it say?
Memory second home.
It's gotta be the golden enough.
Ah, look at that.
Wait, turn around. Turn
Sorry.
around.
It's a little memento of Bot Secking.
Yeah, it's the Munster in the background with the covered bridge in the foreground. Very nice.
This is the last bit of the Pearl Harbor file. I did not submit this for your photo album for the right reason, because I think it was a sore point with you.
Well, we
I
take
don't
it out
have
of
the negative
context.
anymore. I have no other originals, I promise. So this is yours.
Me asleep at the desk after 20 hours.
Oh, you work hard.
Yeah.
I was caught in the act.
And this year is a little bit more of a serious gift, but it's hopefully a good memento of your very first big project. And I think since you've been always a solid oral dosage form scientist, I think if you take the bow off,
Oh,
like, if you want
1990,
scissors, I
wow.
can provide that. Hopefully it captures everything of your career, meaning it's a capsule, clearly. And if you take the lid off, there should be a punch in there from Voltaren,
I can't read
your
it.
first project, as a little memento. So Steve, I wish you all the best.
Wow.
Lots of
What's
happiness.
that,
All right, I guess it's my turn now. I've known Steve a very long time. And at least, hey Alan, at least some of us bring gifts. You didn't bring a gift. Come on. So we have some gifts. And if this wasn't planned, so not only gifts, but you get a reward for your service, Steve. So you'll see the connection in a little bit. So Steve, so when you go to the Yankee bus trip, oh wait, they don't do the Yankee bus trip anymore. But
don't have
you
the
know,
Yankee bus trip.
but you can have the ball.
I don't know if we still have this anywhere.
So I did some time in external supply. So Vivian sends his regards. You remember him from Suffering, right?
Cleaning out your
Vivian
office.
McCabe.
Bob.
Right. Yes, I'm cleaning out my stuff. Now I'm sure you have this book.
I have that book.
You have this book. It was hard pressed to find really pictures of Summit in here or East Hanover, but I did find this menu, right? And all I can guess is it's the 20th Century Club. So you're a part of that. I'm a part of it. Most of us are. So, but they don't do that anymore.
I don't see that anymore.
Had a flan, but yeah, I'm cleaning out my desk. There's X Forge, and
You did that to Bob.
and I couldn't find any other pen. That's X Forge. It's out of my house. It's out of my house. So now I went with Steve a couple of times to Stein, and they were a lot of fun, and we got the work done. But we had a favorite place in Bad Säckingen, and they had a really good beer glass, which mine broke, and we can't get another one. They won't sell it. Relax. He thinks it's the glass.
It's not a replacement glass.
You think it's from the whalefish. It's not from the whalefish.
Oh, that would be too bad.
But unfortunately, it's dogfish and Survivor. Box.
You managed to get one of these.
Yes. But what would go really good in that glass?
Yeah,
is
so that's
what?
cold beer.
So in my, as someone mentioned, it's warm. Sorry. As someone mentioned, you're retired and you have all this stuff. How can you? I think Colleen, you mentioned it, right? I'm so busy. I made beer in my garage.
Oh.
Okay. First time in my garage. Came in second at the beer club.
Hey, very good.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. Let's
Now,
go.
yeah, making beer is a lot different than making pharmaceutical products. Now, this was not planned, but you heard it so many times at this lunch. Okay? So, Steve, you got to look at what's underneath the bag here. It wasn't planned. I think Alan said it. I think Bob said it. Okay. Huh?
Watch your hands.
But it is the last man standing. Oh, the picture comes off. It's Tim Allen.
I thought that was printed on it, but still, that's good. That's really good.
Last man standing. So all the best. I'm sure we'll keep in touch.
I'm sure we will. Be on track. First of all, thanks everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. I think you're all probably, I think we're all probably sick of watching this Titanic slowly go down, right? And I think finally we can all rest that yes, the ship is sunk, we're all gone, but we do need an excuse. Now we don't have the built-in whose luncheon is next, but we need definitely an excuse. We have to go on a hike, right? We heard this, we were just talking about it last week, but So being the last man standing is hard because I had to watch everyone walk out the door. But you guys also have to keep coming back to feel the pain again for the next guy's lunch and the next guy's lunch. So, thank you all for coming today and for feeling that pain one more time. It sucks, but from what I'm hearing, there's better days ahead. So I'm really looking forward to it. But being the last man standing, I'm getting everybody's garbage from their lockers. Bob leaves and he hands me a Pendaflex folder of whatever he's stored away in his locker. So when I'm cleaning out my locker, whatever, a month or two ago, figured I might not be on campus too often anymore after Raju's lunch, right? Why else come back if I'm the only one there? So I start going through it over the weekend, because the bags have been sitting in my dining room. Linda finally, by the way, my wife Linda, my two oldest children, Melissa and Emily. So, thank you for all the support all the years, and Dad being away and missed travel and this and that. But the two other kids that are in school couldn't make it. But so she's bugging me, like, what are these bags that are sitting in the dining room? So I start going through it over the weekend. And the one thing I find is, almost to the day, right, March 14th, 1991, I interviewed with Russ and Bob and a plethora of others. So almost 35 years from today was my interview. And now, as we came in together, or you welcomed me in, we can all welcome everybody out. So thanks, Bob. That came from you, and it was, as I'm more garbage, but that was nice. That hit home.
It was only garbage relating to you, right? This evaluation.
Performance reviews and this and that.
Yeah, you don't want to talk.
But then the org chart was one, right? I found that was pretty good. But the other thing, maybe I'm getting ahead of this. So as part of the last man, I get everybody else's junk, but I will get rid of it. But thanks. 1991, right? The interview, whatever. A lot of things were in 1991. 1991 highlights, if anybody cares to take a look. But I owe a personal, a thank you to Bob and Russ, right, for bringing me in. You took a chance on me, right? Who's the new guy? I know in Russ's perspective was he's single, he can travel, right? And the minute I tell him I'm engaged, I probably got an NI that year, because what good are you in that? You can't travel.
I told you, don't share the reviews with me.
But coming in with, so I had some experience as I was going through pharmacy school, as Bob kind of alluded to, in the GLAT equipment and the technology. So you brought in somebody who's, in a sense, new to the industry, and I hope I did as well after 34 3/4 years. But I owe you guys a debt of gratitude for bringing me in and showing me the ropes. So thank you so much for that. So I started, right, I was single, right, and now my wonderful family, and the travel to Puerto Rico actually got us to Hawaii for free on American Airlines. So that was the one perk. So you hear Bob talking about negotiating perks, make sure, don't forget about yourself. But yeah, we were able to use the miles to go to Hawaii, and now the travel, right, to shine and everything, right, you have to take some advantages. Ironically, right, so you all heard my first project, right, Voltaren transferred to Puerto Rico, and the cataflam, which was the potassium salt of diclofenac. My last, and that's when I met Michelle, bringing it back to Suffolk. My last project prior to joining Global Health in 2017 was Voltaren pulse release, trying to develop a pulse release, and the cataflam soft gel capsules, which was a limited launch in Italy and I think one other country before they pulled the plug and realized there was no revenue in this. But I came in with the diclofenac family, and I went out prior to Global Health with the diclofenac. So kind of full circle, as you said. So that was an interesting thing. yeah, I mentioned, so of all these projects, so I'm going through my files, trying to clean out what do I want to transfer, right, to my OneDrive at home. So I started just going through the list of, you know, I worked on this project, that project. So, but the one cool thing that I did way back when, I think we had to clean out one of the storage areas. We kept everything, right? I mean, we still keep everything at home. We had drums and drums of tablets, and what are you looking at all these tablets for? So we finally had to throw it away. Pisano was probably on our ass for something. So I kept a little jar, and I would throw a couple tablets in the jar of everything I worked on, whether it went to the market or died or whatever. But I'm kind of glad I did, and I eventually ran out of room. And I don't know if, yeah, there's FTY because it's packaged, because it's compound, right? But that's in my den at home, and I'm kind of glad I did that because it's a nice memory of everything. But you know, so many great times, so many great memories from Summit site, Suffern site, going to Puerto Rico, going to Stein. I think 1998 was actually the first trip. It was the summertime, so your winter was in February. We went for the full-scale pilot in August, and that's when they had to shut they do major clean on the coating pan. We had to go sightseeing, right? It was in February for the full-scale pilots when you abandoned me, and Bergmeister abandoned me, and Bob's telling me who speaks English. These people don't speak English. They know hello, but they speak English. But that was fun. But you know, again, I guess the perks, was able to see some nice places that Linda was able to join me on when we would go to Stein. She would come meet me either before the purpose of the trip or after. She would come, and we were able to see some nice places. So we'll have to continue that up. No, I have to be careful with stuff like that.
Probably in the file.
But so I think, for the most part, everybody that I've reported to, other than maybe Simon and Bill Way, are here today, right? So obviously Ross and Bob and Alan and Mike during the PDU years, right? So thank you all for the guidance and the wisdom you gave me, for the patience you had in me. It was much appreciated, and I hope I certainly learned a lot from each and every one of you, and I hope I delivered as a colleague and a formulator or what. But I think the person that I reported to the most out of my almost 35 years was Colleen. And Bob was like the first 10 or so years before you moved into Krill's group, and maybe 1 or 2 years of this, 3 years of that. But I think the mainstay for most of those years was with you. And as I said at your luncheon, right? I mean, I thank you for, I think, the trust you had in me. I know people maybe seem, that your boss is always on your case or micromanaging or challenging things, but I think you had, again, the trust in me, and you gave me the freedom to do what I knew what to do or knew or could operate, and it really, made an impression on me. So as a leader, as a boss, as a manager, as a friend, back you take your kids to school day or work day, we'd run into you and the boys. I really appreciate you as a manager, as a friend, and again, definitely as with everyone that we keep these meetings up, because it's always good to reflect back. So thank you. Yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, I look around and there's triggers that I see people, and all of a sudden you remember that moment or that thing and what. So I know there's a memory with each and every one of you. Some we didn't necessarily work on projects together, but we'll go to the Bills game. We have a Buffalo connection with my daughter's boyfriend, so he's from Buffalo. He's a Bills fan. Michelle and I, we got talking, so we'll see you for sure at more Bills games.
He was wearing a Buffalo Bills jersey. I just want everybody to know at the game.
Yeah, we've seen that.
But I have to read the last part because the others were just bullets. But I've had the privilege of working with some of the most talented and passionate colleagues in the industry. And I'm grateful for the opportunities that have been given to me to lead, to innovate, and to make an impact on patients' lives. I'm forever thankful to my project team members I had the distinct pleasure to lead. And I told them this in Basel last month when I was there. And I just thank you and everyone for letting me be a part of your journey. Thank you. And I said, what's next? We'll see what happens. We're gonna retire for now, and maybe we retire for good. And when we run out of money, when I'm 80 or whatever, my kids will maybe take care of me.
Well, you might see him next summer at the Somerset Patriots game. He's going to be an usher. So.
Yeah, there's a lot
Usher,
of
that's what he's
things
doing.
out there. So seriously, I really, I love everybody here. Right? Thank you.
And I'm sure Shonali would have been here, but she's stuck in
Yeah, I know. And Mark's got a colonoscopy tomorrow, so Mark Guy is in Florida, right? So he was coming. So yeah. Mangesh, right? We texted Carl's on spring break in Bermuda with his kids, right?
Simon's bicycle in some place.
Simon's probably, yes, on his bicycle somewhere. It's funny. I know, Bob, you have always had a museum of things, right, and collection. You might not remember this, but one time somebody ground down the tooling. I forget what product. I think it might have been Les Paul, and I was still supposed to make a critical batch, and there was no tooling. And I forget how but I always thought I would see that ground face tooling one day. But I guess
That made it to Klein's, the recycling center in Union.
I always thought I would see that. But that's great. Thank you.
You know, Steve, if you want some sandals junk, I can look around and see if I got
You got any like dinosaur pads or Furaset?
You're set.
I think that's funny. It's like my style.
We hired Steve. Not only was it groundbreaking, the equipment that we put in place had a process that did not exist anywhere. So we took it from a concept to 300 kilograms with no steps in between. We worked in a saturated environment at a reduced pressure. I won't get into the physical chemistry. You have to hire me as a consultant. What I'm trying to say is that's what Steve's
You know, Steve delivered good, and that's not this thing. But I remember having a face-to-face once with one of my managers who's not here, who told me that that's a detriment to me, that I need to be on stage, was the quote from the person, and I need to be more visible at project review meetings. And I said, well, you realize that that the person that he or she compared me to, I said, you realize that the reason why that person is there every week at the quarterback meetings or whatever was because they have problems, right? I said, would you rather have somebody with problems who has to go and present them to get resolution? Or would you rather have somebody who gets the job done seamlessly, right? You need to be on stage, was my answer back to me. Okay, I'll remember this.